From Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia, WTOV9 Sports is proud to present the game of the week between the Salem Quakers and Steubenville Big Red. It's the Ohio Division III playoffs, the Region 11 semifinals. The Salem Quakers and Steubenville Big Red will be back with a kickoff from Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia after this.
They're coming in from far and wide.
And we're back at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium, set for the kickoff of this Ohio Division III Region 11 playoff matchup between Steubenville Big Red and the Salem Quakers Big Red in all black. Salem with black pants, white jerseys with the black numbers. Now Big Red won the toss, they deferred, so Salem will get the ball to start things off, and they have a dangerous return man. He is number 7, Ben Eisel. He's run 3 kicks back for touchdowns and a punt this year. 2 of those kickoffs run back for touchdowns have been on the opening kickoff of games. So Ben Eisel, there's a look at him right there. He is a big play threat indeed, 5'10", 155-pound senior. He set out last year with injuries for Salem. We mentioned earlier, Salem last year 0-10, won a turnaround as they went 8-2 in the regular season this year. Wintersville Trophy Shop kickoff, and it's going to come from Dwight Macon. And we are underway. Eisel from his own goal line. And he gets tripped up at the 22-yard line. That is where Salem will set up shop to start things off tonight. And the Quakers, Trent Toothman, the quarterback, leads the way. He's a good one. And on the season, Toothman has thrown for 1,900 yards and 16 touchdowns. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. There's a look at the Salem starting offense being scrolled at the bottom of your screen. Just underway, Salem with the ball to start tonight's matchup. Trent Toothman in the gun. He'll have one sidecar. 2 receivers to either side. And we've got whistles right off the bat here.
We're going to see what the call is going to be. The officials for tonight's game gone. The referee is Gerald Eberly. Umpire Daniel Byram. Head linesman is Thomas Berry. The line judge is Donald Klingler. And the back judge, Kevin Larson. Those are appointed by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
And there's a look at the Big Red defensive starters being scrolled at the bottom of the screen. So procedure, that'll back them up 1st and 15. The ball spotted at the Salem 16-yard line.
A lot of speed on this Big Red defense, Don. Shaquille Pettyway at one of the outside linebackers, and Jesse Burden coming back off an injury at the other outside linebacker.
Handoff, and Jordan Banks is there for the tackle at the 15-yard line.
And also coming off the edge very, very quickly, number 23, Shaquille Pettyway, coming from his outside linebacker spot on the right side of that Big Red defense.
No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 15. Toothman last week, 26 carries for the quarterback, and he threw 32 passes.
Salem's philosophy is to try to control the ball and keep it away from that big play offense of
Toothman to Zach Pennick.
Heading back to about this line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. Just going to bring up 3rd and about 10. On the Don't Ford replay, here's the look right here. Just a little turn-in pattern finding the empty area, but you can see that those guys can really run to the ball well. Number 51 for Big Red on defense, Jordan Banks, defensive lineman, was there to help on the tackle about 7 or 8 yards downfield. It's 3rd and 10.
Toothman in that gun. He is pressured from behind, unloads it, and the pass is knocked away by Big Red's Anthony Pirro, and you're going to have a flag on the play.
And I think they're going to get in for pass interference, and maybe we'll have a chance to see this on our replay, but that's what the head linesman on the other side of the field is indicating, that there was interference. We'll see if it was offensive or defensive. Well, it's going to be measured off against Big Red, so it's against them. That'll be automatic 1st down. 15-yard penalty from the spot. Big Red fans not too happy about it either. Here's a look at it. Toothman's out of the pocket, gets his hand hit. Well, I'll tell you, Piro does have his hand on his back, but I don't know whether he was holding him or just resting it there.
Toothman, keep. Not much there, about a yard. That'll bring up second down. And then a pass play, we're trying to get it to Isel, and I'm sure he's the guy that those Big Red defensive backs, when they see number 7, he's the guy they're going to want to cover like a blanket.
Of course, they have to also be very wary of number 10, Zach Pennick, who's also an outstanding receiver on the other side.
We'll call it a gain of 2. Makes it 2nd and 8 for Salem at their own 38. Isel and Pennick, both the top 2 receivers, split down here to the bottom. Toothman, little bubble screen to Isel. Piro, what an excellent open field tackle by Anthony Piro.
Okay, when you throw that bubble screen, the other wideout is supposed to block that cornerback. And of course, I don't know if he missed the block or he just didn't block him at all, but whatever the reason was, Piro was there in a big hurry and made a great tackle, open field tackle. Perfect form, good hit. That's a loss of about 5, so it's going to bring up 3rd and about 13.
And I'm telling you, Isel did a good job hanging on to the football. That was a heck of a pop laid by Piro. 3rd and 12 from the 34. Toothman swings it topside. Isel met immediately. Jordan Meyer went at the one corner in the near side. Piro, Meyer on the far side, both right there. Catch and stick.
Look like a replay from the last play. It's a real quick bubble screen, and again, they don't block. The defender there, and Jordan Meyer is there in a hurry. Makes the tackle for no gain. It'll bring up 4th and 12.
Reno talks about stopping the run and tackling the pass, and that's exactly what they did there. Both those pass plays, catch it and be stuck immediately. Isel, the punter, the kicker, the return man, the wideout on this team, and a nice high kick. Caleb Westlake bobbles it. Flags down. I don't know if Westlake got it back or not. Yes, he did.
Wow, it looked like he lost it when he went down on the ground to cover it, but he did get it back. That's a real high kick. You're going to see right here.
It was like a soccer-style punt.
Yeah. And as you can see right here, he's just not able to handle it. It comes off of his shoulder pad, and it looked like he wasn't going to be able to get it, but he did reel it in for the recovery.
And the holding penalty called on Big Red, and that will back them up.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
There's a look at the Big Red offensive starters, and that will be followed by the defensive starters of Salem. Just underway, 8:11 to go in the first quarter. First offensive possession of the night for Big Red.
Well, we'll see what Big Red decides to do here, Don. You know, they've been very balanced all year. Good balance between the run and the pass. They have a lot of weapons. They're a potentially big play team. You know, they're going to give Salem a lot of different formations and see how Salem adjusts to those, and then they'll decide on their play calling after that.
Dwight Macon out of the gun, runs into the bunch on the near side. Macon to the 30. Macon across midfield, and he gets run out of bounds by Pennick at the 31-yard line. So Big Red Macon takes it from his own 16 to, we'll call it the 28-yard line, 29-yard line of Salem.
Here it is on the Doan replay. Just a sweep out here. They get everybody pinned to the inside. The outside linebacker, number 12, Toothman, got inside, had no outside leverage on the ball, but then Macon just uses his speed to get to the outside. But a good effort by number 10 from Salem to get there and knock him out of bounds before he's able to take it in. And that was number 10, Zach Pennick. That's what I call getting out of the shadow of your own goalpost.
I'd say. Leading the way were Mason Campbell and Delshawn Woods blocking for Macon. JoJo Piro, the sidecar, Kutry goes in motion to the top. Trey Wiggins split to the bottom. Macon to Kutry. And Kutry gets stopped at the 26-yard line. Short pickup will bring up second down.
That's a gain of about 3 yards. Kutry came in motion. He was originally lined as a tight end to the left. He came in as a shifted into an H-back, comes in motion, and then comes underneath that defensive end into the flat. But good recognition by number 7, that's Eisel, comes up and makes the tackle after a gain of about 3.
So we'll call it 2nd and 7 for the Red at the 27-yard line. Now they're lined up in the I. Double tight. Receiver down to the bottom is Piro. Hand off, JoJo Piro.
On the ground.
Ball on the ground, and Salem's got it.
Well, how often do you see that happen, Don? Big Red putting it on the ground.
So with the turnover, Salem will have its second possession of the night. We'll take a timeout. Be back after this. And we're back at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. Salem taking over after the Big Red turnover on the fumble. Looking at the replay, I'm not sure if JoJo Piro ever really had the handoff cleanly from Dwight Macon. Sideline warning.
We're going to take a look at it on the Doan replay, Don. Here it is right here. Yeah, it was a good handoff, but it just looked like JoJo didn't close down on the ball and just dropped it as he was going into the line.
So the flag was a sideline warning, the official coming over and then backing the Big Red players up. So a pass interference, a holding penalty, and a fumble. The break's not going Big Red's way here in the early going. 1st and 10, Salem on its own 27. Four-man front, Shaq Petaway with the blitz from the outside, handoff, and they're going to lose at least a yard.
Not much movement at all on that defensive front from Big Red. And, looking at the roster, that Big Red defense is, those down 4 guys are not very, very big. When you look at it, Big Red's defense, you have John Elder, the defensive end, 185. Jordan Banks, 205. Jamie Duvall, 220. Dominic Garay, 185. So they're not real big, but they're very mobile and very aggressive. And, they may line up in one gap, but they may end up in another gap, so you never know where they're going to go.
2nd and 11, trips to the bottom. Eisel, the middle man in that trip set. Throws it, top side, catch is made at the 35. Isaiah Willis with a tackle. It'll bring up 3rd and a couple. Sure. Making the catch for Salem was Justin Adams.
Here's on a Don Ford replay, just a short pass, get him into some space, see if he can run with the ball, see what he can pick up. Short of the first down, good open field tackle. So it's going to be 3rd and about 1. Open backfield, no running backs back there with Toothman. They have 5 wideouts.
But Toothman is their short yardage back, so what's the keep? And he didn't get it.
I don't think he got it.
Well, if you look back at the Granville game last week, remember in overtime, they had a 1st and goal to go at the 2, and it took them 3 plays to get it in from there. It was
right.
Toothman scoring.
They're going to measure it. I'll tell you, you got to... no, this is going to be short. Fourth down. It's about 4 or 5 inches short, Don.
And you saw a look in the far sideline, Mike Capacci, the head coach of Salem, and he came over there from Cheney, and boy, what a great job he has done. Talking to head coach Reno Sokoch this week, he said he'd spent some time with the Salem coaches this summer, and they really got along, really liked them and the job that they are doing up at Salem. So 4th and inches.
Let's see if they try to pull him offside with a hard count.
Here's Toothman, and they did. Big Red jumps off sides, and it gives them a first down, and boy, that surprises me because Big Red normally in that situation very disciplined.
They're a pretty disciplined football team. The adrenaline's flowing though, Don. It's early in the ball game, and the mistakes are going to be made like that early in the game by those down defensive linemen or by anybody for that matter. But just anxious to get the stop if they possibly could. Got into the neutral zone, made contact.
Because you had to wonder, because the previous play they got nothing.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 on their own 42. Trips to the bottom, Pennick all the way down, Isel in the middle. They're giving Isel a lot of breathing room on a quick hitter. And there it is. They find Isel, and he gets to the 47. LaShawn Luke with the tackle, but when you saw that formation come out, showing the respect they have for his speed, what, Coach, 5-6 yard gap they gave him?
Well, they're willing to give up the short passing game, Don, and make sure that they tackle well after the pass has been completed. They don't want to give up anything long. They don't want to give up the big play. They want to stop the run first, so that they're going to do a lot of blitzing up front with their linebackers coming off the corners and making a lot of adjustments in their defensive line.
Trips topside, Justin Adams clear to the top, bubble screen that way to Isel, and Adams blocked Piro into Isel for the tackle. Let's take a look, Dylan Ford replay, as we have an ISO on Isel.
Here it is right here. Good pass, but again, you got to block the cornerback, and that's the third time they've run that play, and the third time that the defensive corners from Steubenville have made great plays out in space. That time it was JoJo Piro. The first time it was JoJo Piro, and also the Myers kid, Jordan Myers, made a tackle on that same play earlier.
Toothman in the gun, 2 receivers to either side. Toothman rolling near side, fires in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and they were trying to get it to Dylan Rhodes. It goes incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th and 5.
Yeah, that's good strategy on the part of the Salem coaching staff. They're rolling Toothman out, getting him away from the rush, and almost intercepted.
I think it was Myers.
Myers did a good job of coming over in front of the receiver and knocking that away, almost intercepting.
Westlake back on his own 20. See if Big Red brings any pressure. They do, but that sidewinder punt again. Westlake from his 15 makes one-man miss, but the Cavalry's there to clean him up at the 20. We'll take a break. 3:33 to go, first quarter. We are scoreless. Big Red in Salem, Ohio Division III Regional 11 semifinal. Big Red, Sage Kutri motion. There in the eye, running the stretch. JoJo Piro, and Piro knifes his way out to the 28-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and a couple.
Good movement again by the offensive line of Steubenville. That right side did a great job coming off the ball, getting people sealed to the inside. No one coming up forcing that play, taking on the lead blockers. And a good solid 7-yard gain for Big Red on first down will bring up 2nd and 7.
Trips near side. In the middle of that is Jordan Meyer, Caleb Westlake, Trey Wiggins there as well. Everyone looking over for the play call. Make it in the gun. He has one sidecar. Macon fires, and it's picked off by Trent Toothman. Toothman on the return to the 25, to the 20. Cuts back at the 17, where he's brought down by Piro. So a big break for the Salem Quakers, and their defense comes up with it. Trent Toothman with the pick.
We'll take a look at it on the Doan Ford replay. You can see Macon is just looking at his receiver all the way, looking for the slant pattern. There were 3 defenders around the slant receiver. So you can see right here, he tries to force the ball in. Toothman does a good job of getting underneath that. Also the inside linebacker right there. And then a nifty return on the part of Toothman down to about the 17-yard line.
Salem takes over. It's Big Red's 2nd turnover. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. Toothman, he's going to be brought down back at the 24-yard line. LaShawn Luke, the sophomore, with the sack.
I tell you, they're sending people from all over the place, Don. That time it was LaShawn Luke coming from the inside. Also, you can see number 67 coming off of the corner right there, and that's John Elder. So Toothman had no time to find a receiver anywhere. Took the sack. It's a loss of about 7. Will bring up 2nd and 17 from about the 24-yard line.
Salem breaks the huddle. They'll send ISO top side. Empty backfield.
Toothman looking at the defense. Austin Knoll, the wing top side. He makes a block. Toothman, he's going to keep it, and he gets popped at the 19-yard line. And coming up making that stick for Big Red was Jesse Burden, and Burden back in the lineup. He had turf toe issues, missed a couple of games. He's back and healthy as we are in the Hollywood City Center red zone.
3rd down and 12 for Salem. They can't run the ball against Big Red. They have to figure out somehow to get the ball down inside the 10-yard line to about the 7-yard line for a 1st down. So it's going to take a pass to do it, and I'm sure that he's going to be looking for his favorite receiver, number 7, Ben Eisel.
He and Dylan Rhodes are up to the top side. Toothman looking, Easel, and you're going to have interference on Big Red twice. Piro has hit him from behind, and there's the penalty, pass interference on Big Red. And it's legit. That was, he hit him.
He hit him before the ball got there. You know, the defender has as much right to the ball as the offensive player does, but you can't go through the receiver to get to the ball, and I think that's what JoJo did.
Here's a look at Anthony Piro, Big Red defensive coordinator. So Big Red 2 pass interferences now tonight.
We're going to take a look at it. You can see he's under heat, gets rid of the ball, pretty good pass, but he came over his shoulder before the ball got there, and I think that's a legitimate call. It's going to be first and goal from about the 8-yard line.
Sideline warning, and it's a bunch of guys that aren't, it's not Salem coaches, it's what do they call those folks, hanger-oners? There's a bunch down around the 20-yard line.
It's the posse.
First and goal to go at the 8.
Now that's going to be first and goal to go at the 10.
2nd.
Shaquille Petaway. Very, very difficult to run inside the tackles against Big Red. There aren't many teams that they've played this year that have had any success with that whatsoever. If they're going to attack them, they have to attack them from the tackles out. Here it is right here, and you can see the penetration that Big Red's front 4 are getting, and they're sending a linebacker almost on every play, Don.
Two receivers top side. Eisel, the inside man. He's going to come in motion. Toothman looking for Eisel. He makes the catch. Eisel to the 5, out of bounds at the 3. As we see it, Salem in the Hollywood City Center red zone.
That was number 11, Najee Murray over there to make the tackle. You can see Eisel comes in motion. They have 2 wide receivers over here already, so everybody's pushing off and trying to get Eisel to come underneath that. Good receive the pass, here it is, but a good tackle right there. And you can see the official puts him out of bounds at about the 2.5-yard line.
So 3rd and goal to go, just inside the 3. You've got man coverage with Eisel the top side with Piro. 1 sidecar. That's Eric Bailey. Toothman, pass, touchdown, Salem. Slipping out was Justin Adams for the Quaker touchdown.
I tell you, they find a little soft spot over there. They had Eisel spread out to the left. He was in man coverage. And here you can see number 26 just slipping out into the flat and in for the score.
Eisel on to attempt the extra point. He's the guy that kicked the game-tying field goal last week against Granville. Snap, kick, it's up and good. And Salem, they strike first. They lead Big Red 7-0 with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Health Plan and WTOV9 are teaming up with the Wheeling Nailers for Pink in the Rink November 28th. The Nailers will donate $2 from designated tickets, and a portion of the proceeds from the pink jersey auction following the game will be donated to breast cancer patients in the Valley. It's also George Callis bobblehead night. The first 2,500 fans in the door will get a bobblehead. For more information on Pink in the Rink or to order your tickets, call the Nailers office at 304-234-GOAL. And those bobbleheads in remembrance of our former partner and my dear friend, the late George Callis, who had passed away earlier this year. And Salem, they get set to kick it off as they take that 7-0 lead. Coach Capacci over on the far sideline for Salem. So Big Red, 2 turnovers. They've had a fumble, an interception, 2 costly pass interference penalties. So right now, the mistakes are hurting them. Wintersville Trophy Shop kickoff. Interestingly, ISIL not doing the kickoff. It's 44 kicking off for Salem.
It's Mike King.
Fielded by Big Red at the 25. Caleb Westlake, a good return man, and he's got plenty of room. Westlake down the far sideline across midfield. He gets knocked out of bounds to the 36-yard line, but excellent return by Caleb Westlake. And such a dangerous punt returner, not one of the deep men. They pooch a little short kick, but you've got a dangerous return man on that second level.
Now you can see all the Salem special team guys are all inside, that hash mark, and that leaves an awful lot of room over here, 3/4 of the field for him to get over there. Got good speed, and you can see that just a good solid tackle along the sideline knocks him out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Well, you hear about staying in their lanes. Well, there are a lot of lanes open. It's bowling for dollars.
Great return by Caleb Westlake.
Handoff, Wiggins coming near side. And Wiggins gets tripped up at the 39-yard line. Ben Isel with the tackle. That brings the first quarter to a close. At the end of 1 quarter of play in the Vaporjet scoreboard, Salem leads Big Red 7-0 your score. And it is Big Red looking at a 2nd and 12 on the Salem 38. Good field position set up on a nice kick return by Caleb Westlake. But the first down play, Big Red lost a couple. Brings up 2nd and 12. So Macon will be in the gun. Jojo Pirro the sidecar. Anthony Pirro, Trey Wiggins split down to the bottom. Macon stepping back, and he's going to be brought down. Salem coming up with the sack. Mike King wraps him up. Pressure also provided by Mike Brown.
Mike Brown was the first one there. Gone, and then number 44 came up inside. This is you can see King coming off the edge right here. He gets to Macon very, very quickly, makes him step up, and then big number 44, the other defensive end. That's Mike King. Brings him down for a big loss. He's going to bring up 3rd and 18.
Ball now back at the 44-yard line. Anthony Pirro, Trey Wiggins split to the bottom. The official helping White Macon. An equipment issue. Dominic Gary, the wing to this side. Wiggins going in motion. Macon looking for Wiggins. Wiggins incomplete at the 32-yard line.
Pirro ran the deep route that time. Wiggins came underneath him on an out pattern.
And Pirro was open on that deep route.
Just took a little bit too long, for that to develop. You can see we also have a tight end out here in the flat. Wiggins was running the medium route on that one, and Pirro running the deep route. So it was a flood pattern over to the right-hand side. The ball just not being able to be delivered in a place where Wiggins could make the catch.
Anthony Pirro on to punt it away. Isel, we mentioned, has taken 1 punt back for a touchdown this season. He is standing on his own 10. Pirro.
Nice high punt.
Isel calls for the fair catch, and he fields it at his own 7-yard line. 1st and 10 on their own 8 for the Quakers. Toothman in that gun with two backs. Handoff to the first running back through. He will get out to the 10-yard line.
It looked like that really opened up pretty nice inside. It looked like it was going to go for something, but those linebackers led by LaShawn Luke closed it very, very quickly, held it to a short gain of about 2, so it will bring up 2nd and 8. And one thing that Salem has not been able to do, Don, they haven't had any success running the football so far against this Big Red defense.
Josh Knox is the sidecar to Toothman, 2 receivers to either side. Shaq Petaway showing blitz from the bottom. Toothman to keep Petaway the tackle at the 11.
Petaway closes so very, very quickly from his outside linebacker spot. He has great speed. Even though he sort of gives it away, he starts a little before the snap. He comes very, very quickly and comes very flat down the line. If you notice, he doesn't get a lot of depth. He comes straight down the line and tries to cut off that ball carrier before they can get to the point of attack.
3rd and 6. Ben Eisel split near side. Actually, 2 receivers. He's the inside receiver. Justin Adams, the outside receiver in this twin set. Toothman. Pressure. He's got running room, and it closes quickly.
Now we're going to see what the spot is.
Is there for Big Red, along with Dominic Gary, close to the first.
I think they'll measure this one, Don. It's close to the first down, but the down marker on the other side shows that he's short about maybe a yard, and we'll see how accurate he is when they bring the sticks out. Looks like he has some running room, but watch LaShawn Luke. Very, very good. Comes up and closes very quickly, and is going to hold that short of the first down. And you can see where the referee places his fingers. It's about 6 inches short.
So 4th and short, they'll punt it away.
Big Red should get some nice field position out of this. If they can cleanly field the ball, and they should have nice field position. Number 13 is deep for Big Red to return the kick. That's Caleb Westlake.
Ben Eisel standing on his own 5. Isaiah Willis should provide some pressure top side.
That's a high short kick.
High short punt. It's going to take a Big Red bounce, and they should have it at the 39-yard line. And that's where Big Red will take over when we come back. Salem leads at 7-0. 9:13 to go in the first half on the VaporJet scoreboard. And we're back at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. Big Red takes over 1st and 10 on the Salem 39-yard line. Trey Wiggins, Anthony Pirro down to the bottom. Wiggins goes in motion. Macon fakes the handoff to Wiggins. Looking, Dominic Gary the catch, and Gary leaps up to the 27-yard line.
And that should be a first down.
And Dominic Gary, boy, has he come on this season, the 6'1", 185-pound junior. One thing he's shown all year, excellent hands.
There he is. He's coming flat underneath Pirro, who took the defender deep. And you can see Pirro trying to get a block on Eisel, but Eisel is able to make the tackle, but not until after Gary gets a first down for the Big Red inside the 30.
1st and 10 at the 27, bunch top side. Macon runs into that bunch. Mason Campbell, Delshawn Woods, the lead blockers. Macon turns the corner, and he should be close to a first down. Run out just across the 20-yard line.
I haven't seen anybody stop that play, Don. They ran it a few times last week against Marlington. They just get so many people there. You can see number 12 is the outside linebacker. That's Toothman. He should be forcing the ball, but he gets into the secondary and around the corners so quickly, and with so many blockers, it's really hard to stop. You got to come upfield, take on that lead blocker, and force that ball deep.
2nd and less than a yard. JoJo Pirro, your sidecar. Meyer split to the bottom. Wiggins in motion. Macon, keep. And he's got the first down, spinning down to the 12-yard line.
make
Gary and LaShawn Luke check in. Meyer and Wiggins come out, so a different personnel grouping for the Red.
Making it so hard to stop once he gets a head of steam up and is running toward that off-tackle spot. Good job by the right side of that offensive line.
I formation, JoJo Piro, and Piro keeps the legs driving. He gets across the 10.
That was number 55, Matt Taylor. That was the first one there to get him. But looked like he was going to be held to a very, very short gain or maybe even no gain. But that's about a 4-yard pickup for Piro. Takes it inside the 10-yard line to about the 9. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
And Big Red in the Hollywood City Center red zone. 2nd and 6 at the 9. 2 receivers top side, Wiggins and Anthony Piro. JoJo Piro the sidecar, Wiggins in motion. Macon, it's a keep all the way. Dwight Macon. Stopped at the 7-yard line.
Good tackle there. Number 55 for Salem was the first one on the hit. That's Matt Taylor. Did a good job of holding that to a short gain of just a couple. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 4 at about the 8-yard line of Salem.
Delshawn Woods checks out for Big Red. Also out Sage Kutry and Dominic Gary. Meyer and Piro go top side. Bunch to the bottom. Meyer goes that way as well, and so does Macon. Macon, stringing out nicely, and who else but Ben Eisel.
That was a great job by the left side of that Salem defense that time. They were able to string that out, able to come upfield and make Macon run east and west instead of north and south. And great job by the Salem defense that time. We're going to take a look at it on the Doan replay. Good job coming up, and Eisler makes a good open field tackle, taking him down by one leg. This is 4th
and 6 at the 9.
From the 9-yard line. They've got to get to the 3 for the first down.
Big play here. Bunch top side. We got a timeout, I would believe, called by Salem.
They want to make sure that they're in the right alignment. This is the last chance the Big Red will get on this series to punch it in or get the first down.
Hard to believe, as well as this defense is playing tonight for Salem. They gave up 31 points in the first half last week against Granville. Turned around and pitched a shutout in the second half, but part of that can be attributed to the 8-minute drive, touchdown drive that their offense had at one point in that second half. But the Salem defense looking pretty stout so far. Big play call here for Big Red. 4th and 6 at the 9. You give Dwight a run-throw option, try to get him to the perimeter. What do you think?
I think that's what maybe the Big Red coaches are thinking. Get him on the perimeter where he can make a decision as to whether he wants to run or throw. He's very, very good when he gets down here, into the red zone, and that's what I would be calling something where he's got an option of either running or throwing.
And unlike a lot of quarterbacks, he's very adept at rolling to the right and throwing back across the field. He's done that with touchdown passes to Gary this year and Piro. Next Friday, live at 6:30, the Perkins Restaurant Bakery Fantasy and Lights Parade. Next Friday, November 20th at 6:30. You'll see a lot of those there, a lot of bands in that parade, a lot of marching bands, one of the great parades in the tri-state area. 4th and 6 for the Red at the 9. Bunch set to the top. JoJo Piro, your sidecar. Anthony Piro split to the bottom. Macon throwing, open, incomplete, trying to get it to Trey Wiggins, and incomplete, just out of the reach of Wiggins. And we will take a timeout. 7:07 to go in the half on the VaporJet scoreboard. Salem leads it 7-0. And we're back, VaporJet scoreboard, Salem 7, Big Red nothing. And after the 4th down stop, Salem takes over, 1st and 10 on its own 9. Toothman, you're gonna have a flag, most likely holding as they complete the pass to Pennick. Did you see a hold on the Salem O-line?
Well, I'll tell you, when it's thrown by the umpire toward the offensive line, almost invariably it's going to be holding, and that's what it is. It's holding against Salem. This will be a half the distance penalty, Dawn, from the line of scrimmage. So this is going to put the ball back, well, inside the 5-yard line. Well, almost on the 5-yard line. We'll see if we can pick up who it is that's holding. There's the call right here. I think it was on the center on number 51 on Banks. Ball's at about the 3.5-yard line.
Still first down. They've got 2 wings. Toothman in that gun. Here comes the pressure. Toothman looking for Isel. Isel with the catch at the 14-yard line. Excellent route. Ran off his defender, came back, and Toothman had it there.
We got somebody hurt for Big Red in the end zone. Here it is. He's going to sprint out a little bit to get away from the rush, and Isel is just running a stop pattern about 10 yards downfield and is able to get to completion. Not exactly sure who the injured Big Red player is, but we hope it's not anything real serious. Medical staff is out there taking a look at it right now.
And we will take a timeout. Maybe LaShawn Luke will take a timeout. 6:42 to go in the first half. Salem leads at 7-0. A 2nd and 5 for Salem on its own 14. The injured player before we went to break was LaShawn Luke. Toothman with the keep, and he's going to get to the 18. He'll bring up 3rd and short. But on the previous play before we went to break, LaShawn Luke, the inside linebacker for Big Red, was injured, and it looked like it was his knee, but he did come off the field on his own power.
It looked like Toothman was going to have some real positive yardage on that particular play, but the quickness and the speed of the defensive secondary of Big Red is so impressive. They're able to get to the ball carrier very, very quickly. And tonight, as opposed to last week, Don, they're really tackling very, very well tonight.
3rd and a yard.
Blake Carroll is in there at an inside linebacker spot.
Flag. Looks like procedure on Salem.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be, Don.
So it goes from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. Which ironically, if you're Salem, may be better, because I don't think on that quarterback sneak they're getting much.
They didn't get much the last time they tried it, because they were stuffed for no gain.
Isel to the bottom, 2 receivers to the top. Don't care who you are, you keep an eye on number 7. This is Toothman. He's going to get stopped by a number of Big Red players just shy of the 15. Will bring up a punting situation.
I'll tell you, number 42, the inside linebacker, Blake Carroll, did a nice job of recovering when he saw Toothman was going to run that ball, running that quarterback draw play, was able to recover, come up and made a pretty good tackle for a short gain. It's going to be 4th down for Salem, and again, Big Red should get some decent field position out of this.
Isel's last punt was short and high. Kind of does a soccer-style punt, if that is possible. Little sidewinder. Another one, a directional punt.
Short again. You got a few more yards on it. The last time Big Red took over at Salem's that 39-yard line. This time they're going to take over on Salem's 43-yard line.
Big Red breaks the huddle. They will send Piro and Wiggins near side. JoJo Piro the sidecar. Double tight. Dominic Gary goes in motion top side. JoJo Piro knifes his way to the 38-yard line. Gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5. Well, they only gave him 3. So
I thought they were going to give him at least 4. I thought he at least got to the 39-yard line, but they gave him 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 from the 40-yard line of Salem. 4:21 left to go in this quarter.
Piro near side. Piro to the 30 and brought down at the 27-yard line.
I'll tell you, Don, that time, if we have it on replay, you're going to see the corner from Salem come up, but he comes up too far upfield, gets kicked out, and that opens up a big running lane in there for Piro, and he makes a nice gain on it down to about the 26-yard line of Salem, and a first down.
Shaq Petaway checks in for Big Red. And Petaway will be the fullback, Piro the tailback. Anthony Piro split topside, double tight. Gary goes in motion. Check Petaway! And Petaway to the 10-yard line, and he doesn't carry the ball much on offense, but when he does, you see what he can do.
Well, I tell you, they have a package for him. You know, when he's in the ball game, that time they ran that inside trap with the fullback. That's where he was aligned. You can see the right guard coming, a lot of penetration. Number 50 gets a nice kick-out block on the trap play. That's Delshawn Woods, and a big gain for Shaquille Petaway down to about the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 1st and 10 at the 11, and we'll see if what they can do. They're going to keep Petaway in there, and I'm sure he'll stay at the fullback position in front of JoJo Piro. Now they're at stacked eye.
And it is Piro. Extra effort gets him to the 7.
Number 84 was lined up as the up back on that. That's Shane Kutry. Take a look at it on the Doan replay. 2 blockers in front of Piro. Looked like he was stopped there momentarily. Spun off the tackle, picked up a couple of yards. Will be 2nd and 6 from the 7.
Double tight, eye set, Gary in motion. Macon, top side, cuts it in, touchdown, Big Red.
Outstanding blocking on the perimeter. And that's been a good play for them all night, with the exception on 1 down when they were here the last time. You can see there's an awful lot of blockers, nobody making any penetration. And the nearest tackler was number 10, and he was standing in the end zone. You see Piro. You see Kutry gets body on body, hat on hat, and is able to escort Macon right into the end zone for the touchdown.
Anthony Piro on to attempt the extra point. Caleb Westlake with the hold. High snap, Westlake, nobody to throw to, and he's going to get stopped. He was wanting to throw it, but there was nobody out there at all. He gets stopped, so 7-6. The conversion attempt fails.
You know, Don, it's interesting to see how the philosophy of special teams have changed. That one time, you know, you always wanted to have some big guys in the center of that coverage team that would be the wedge busters. But now, as you can see, all of the numbers of the guys that are going to be covering the kick, with the exception of one, are all either receivers, defensive backs, or running backs.
Speed, the name of the game. Wintersville Trophy Shop kickoff. Eisel on the bounce. And Eisel to the 30. Good return out to the 35-yard line. Salem leads it by 1. 3:01 to go here in the first half at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. And we'd like to thank the kind folks here, led by Athletic Director Tom Farbizo. Beautiful facility here at New Philadelphia, and they definitely roll out the red carpet.
Absolutely. They had a very, very nice hospitality room. Excellent press box. Our facilities here in the press box are, second to none.
How about that? Toothman in the gun. 2 receivers to the bottom, 2 to the top. Quarterback keep. Toothman to the 40. Spins away from the tackle from Meyer. Najee Murray with the stop, a yard short of the first. 2nd and short. And I'll tell you what, Meyer's an excellent tackler. If you break his tackle,
That's a pretty adept move by Toothman.
I'll tell you, he's not a small kid when he's running that. And you can see this is a run all the way. Backside tackle number 52 pulls around and leads him up in there. And that was a pretty good block by Steve Manypenny to spring in for a gain of about 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Toothman goes 6'1", 215. 2 receivers to the top. Isel split all the way down to the bottom. You got a flag in the play.
And I think there's going to be a procedure penalty again against Salem. The inside receiver on this side, I think, moved prior to the snap. I don't know if we'll have it on a replay or not, but whether we do or not, it doesn't matter because the officials saw it, and it's going to cost Salem 5 yards, and that's really going to hurt. You know, you have a 2nd and less than 1, and now you have 2nd and closer to 6. Big Red making some changes defensively, bringing in another defensive back, anticipating the pass on 2nd and long.
And this is when they like to throw just a stop route to Isel. Wiggins late getting onto the field. Toothman a key top side, and Toothman back to where they were. So he picks up the 5 they lost to the penalty, 3rd and short, which they haven't been successful at.
And that was a good call because Big Red came in with a 3-man line. They were playing the pass. They were defending the pass, anticipating that that's what it was going to be. Toothman recognized it and ran the ball against that 3-man line and was able to pick up about 6, so it'll bring up 3rd and about 1.
Penning to the top. Split down to the bottom. Justin Adams and Ben Isel. Hero with the coverage of Isel. And you got movement again. That'll back him up another 5.
Yeah, it's going to cost him 5. It's dead ball foul, procedure penalty. So last time it was 2nd and 1, and they got penalized, and it was 2nd and 6. Now it was 3rd and 1. They get penalized 5, so it's going to be 3rd and 6. Looked like the right tackle moved prior to the snap.
And that jumping around the Big Red does on their defensive front causes a lot of confusion. Timeout Big Red. And we see Dwight Macon. He's been in at the ball game now at a linebacker spot. Timeout for the Red. Salem looking at a 3rd and 6 on its own 39 as LaShawn Luke, injured, is out of the ball game. Josh Thompson in as well. Macon and Petaway your backers. Okay, Isel's down to the bottom. Thompson's got the coverage on him. Thompson, a big hitter. Big Red jumping around a lot. They did a lot of this against Massillon. Pass, caught, Pennick, 1st down.
Okay, Pennick did a good thing. He knew exactly how far he had to go. He got over the 45-yard line. He hooked up, and good timing by Toothman getting him the ball. You can see here, sprints away from the rush and is able to get the ball on the money for the 1st down.
What do they say about football? You can call holding on every play?
Yeah, you could have called it on that play.
1st and 10 on the 46, trips top, 2 to the bottom. Toothman being pursued, throws it late across the middle, but it's caught. 1st down for Salem at the 40, and that's Pennick. And he broke the cardinal rule about throwing late across the middle, and got lucky. Pennick made the catch, and it was tipped. I thought it might have been tipped up for a pick, but did not happen.
Okay, Big Red will be back in a regular defense this time with Carroll, Petaway, and Burden.
Salem spikes it, so 57 seconds to go and a half. That will take their timeouts down to...
Well, they didn't call a timeout.
No, I'm saying that they've got 2, though.
Yeah, they've got 2. They didn't use
that was my question,
there.
though, is why? I mean, they've got 2 timeouts.
Well, you wasted it down, that's for sure, Don. And there's not anything wrong with your logic and questioning why they wouldn't have taken a timeout.
2nd and 10. Pump fake, turn it down, out and up. Isel, it's picked is a big,
Wow.
no, he caught it.
Yes, he did.
Iso with the catch at the 21-yard line. You can't cover a guy any better than that.
Oh, I'll tell you, number 8 for Big Red was right there. He was in his hip pocket. It's Isaiah Willis, and you can't get any better than this. But look where the ball was thrown, and Iso went up to the highest point that he could to make the catch above number 8, Isaiah Willis.
Never got his arms up. We take the timeout. 7-6 Salem on the Vapor Jet scoreboard. Iso goes in motion, top side. Toothman looking, firing.
Ooh.
Incomplete down at the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you, that was a great throw and almost an outstanding catch by number 10 for Salem. That's Zach Pennick. We're going to see right here. Iso came in motion, ran a flat pattern, kept the corner over there, and then Pennick ran a flag route and was open for a second. The ball thrown a little bit high and incomplete.
But he's made 2 tougher catches than
Yes,
the one
he
he
has.
missed there.
Yes, he has.
2nd and 10 and the 21.
He's a big, tall, lanky receiver, 6'1". It's only a sophomore.
Iso in this bunch to the bottom. Toothman. Is Iso going to just slip? No, Toothman is a run. And he gets drilled
Better get a
by
timeout.
Jesse Burden at the 25, Shaq Petaway at the 25-yard line.
Good coverage by that secondary from Big Red. Gave Petaway a chance to come up, make a tackle, and he did for a loss of about 4, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 14 with 36 seconds, and I believe that Salem may have one more timeout left, or that may have been their last one. They have one or none?
One left. Here's a look at the Big Red defense. Right now, Salem looking at a 3rd and 14 on the Big Red 25. And Toothman will be in that gun with 2 receivers to the top. His top 2, well, he's got trips now. So Pennick's up there. The inside receiver is Iso. He's got 2 to the bottom. Dylan Rhodes, one of those. Looking down the middle, pass for Iso, incomplete. Trey Wiggins on the coverage.
And got some help from Piro coming over from his safety position, was able to come over there and knock that away as well. So it's going to bring up 4th and 14 for the 25-yard line. Too far for a field goal. It'll be about a 42-yard field goal if he's on the 25. 7 yards back would be the 32 plus 10 of the end zone. That's 42, but Iso's going to give it a shot.
He's made 4 this year, made a 34-yarder last week. So this is a 42-yard attempt.
Now Toothman is the holder, so we got to be careful of a fake.
Snap, placement, kick, and it is no good.
I tell you, it was long enough, but it was wide left.
Big Red adept at this 2-minute offense. Like to have 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Same principles do apply, though.
Absolutely. 25 seconds if you hurry, you can run around about 3 plays, Don.
And they have 1 timeout.
And of course the clock stops when they make a first down.
They've got Wiggins and Piro to the bottom. Meyer and Westlake up top. Meyer comes down to the bottom to flood this area. Macon steps, fires, Piro incomplete.
He was there, throw it a little bit behind him. Getting at a 3-receiver combination pattern coming this side. When Meyer came in motion, Meyer was running flat, and Wiggin was running a little deeper route, and Piro was hooking up, trying to find an open area between the linebackers and the safety.
2nd and 10. Big Red on his own 20. That's Trey Wiggins going in motion. Macon, pressured, fumble. Salem's got it. The flag, I think, is going to be a hold on Big Red.
And I think that Salem will decline it and take the ball, and look who recovered. Number 12, Toothman. Well, that's a third turnover for Big Red tonight, and that's very uncharacteristic of them. They always secure the ball very, very well.
Okay, here's a look. Doan Ford replay. And
excellent job by number 44 from Big Red, from Salem. It came off his block. That's Mike King, and made a very, very good tackle and knocked that ball away from Macon's hand.
He did it as Macon was bringing his arm back to throw it, and as he came back, King hit it and knocked the ball loose.
Well,
so we're in the Hollywood City Center red zone. 1st and 10, Salem at the 19. ISO, your inside receiver, and the twin set to the top. Toothman looking for ISO all the way. He's pressured. Unloads it. ISO. Incomplete. Great effort, but incomplete. And Najee Murray's injured. Murray on the coverage, and he's hurt.
Well, I tell you what a great effort that was by us. So we're going to take a look at it. You can see here, Toothman's able to break contain. And I'll tell you, if he doesn't loft this ball,
I think he caught it, but it was out of bounds.
Yeah, he did catch it, Don, but he was out of bounds. If he's able to put a little bit more on this, and not loft the ball so much, get so much air under it, this may be a completion. Very, very nice pattern here by Coach Capacci, trying to get his slot receiver open.
And Murray still down in that corner.
Well, we'll see if Salem takes one more shot to the end zone. They have 8 seconds left to go. It's 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line.
ISO that middle receiver. They've got Dwight Macon now covering ISO. They've tried a lot of different guys on him tonight because Murray had been covering him, and then he is now out. So trips topside. Toothman stepping up in the pocket, unloads. Interference on Big Red. Isaiah Willis called for the interference.
Oh, boy.
They're trying to get it to Justin Adams.
That's the 3rd pass interference call against Big Red tonight. And I don't think that Salem's going to mess around with anything. They're going to take the penalty, and they're going to kick the field goal.
Hollywood City Center red zone.
He's on the left hash mark, and he has an angle, but it's a good angle.
So a 27-yard field goal, Toothman with the hold. So bad snap, you've got to respect him. Macon's got his eye on him. And that kick is up, and it is good. So Salem will head to the locker room at the half, leading by 4, 10-6 on the strength of a Ben ISO field goal. And that brings the first half to a close from Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. It's Salem leading Big Red 10-6 on the VaporJet scoreboard. There it is. And we just zoomed into it and they pulled off of it for a second. So Big Red set to return it to start the second half. Trailing by kind of 10-6. Burden back deep for the Red. Big Red fields it at the 20. JoJo Piro to the 26.
Ball's on the ground.
He looked like he wanted to pitch it back to Burden, and nearly lost it.
As a matter of fact, he did lose it, and Burden recovered the ball for Big Red at the 25-yard line. And boy, I tell you, Big Red would have lost it there. That would have been really, really catastrophic for them. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, this is on a Doan Ford replay. You can see right here, he's looking to lateral, and you can see the ball pop out of there, but Burden was right there to get on it and save the day for the Big Red.
Josh Knox with the stop for Salem. Big Red comes out in the eye, and Piro breaks some tackles, gets it out to the 30. Good gain on first down, about 4 or 5 on that carry.
It's a gain of 5, and I think you're going to see Big Maybe try to try to establish their run a little bit more than what they did in the first half, and then go with maybe some play action passes.
Big Red first half, 16 carries, 114 yards on the ground. Passing just 2 of 6 for 13 yards. Turnovers the story. Big Red 3 turnovers in the first half, also 5 penalties for 51 yards. 2nd and 5. Dominic Gary, your fullback. Trey Wiggins in motion. And Piro tripped up just shy of the 30-yard line, and LaShawn Luke left the game with an injury in the first half. Late in the half, Najee Murray injured as well. We'll have to keep an eye on his status as the game goes on.
That was number 69, Jerry Carlisle for Salem. Got underneath the block of that offensive lineman and just stacked it up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Making in the gun, Piro the sidecar. Trey Wiggins and Anthony Piro split to the bottom. Myers split topside. Now JoJo Piro comes near side. Keep with Macon. And he's going to get stopped. Forward progress out to the 32.
They'll bring up 4th down. He's going to be short of the first down marker by a couple of yards. Not the way Big Red wanted to start the second half. Just a lead block all the way, and Piro trying to block out on big number 44 for Salem. We've called his number a lot tonight. That's Michael King, doing a good job of coming off the block, making the tackle.
And Macon was trying to pick his way through, and King gets him really from behind. Here's Piro, set to punt, standing on his own 20. Isel calls for the fair catch, and decent field position for Salem, just shy of their own 40-yard line. Toothman in the gun with a sidecar. Isel in motion to the top side. Toothman rolling, looking. Isel alone. Toothman's going to keep it and get ripped down. He gets a gain a little over a yard. Well, I thought Isel was open early.
That was Burden, made a nice recovery from his corner linebacker position and was able to get Toothman from behind before he did too much damage. We're going to take a look at it on the Durham Ford replay. There it is right here. Does a good job coming off his block and is able to pursue Toothman to the outside and bring him down from behind. For a gain of about 1, will bring up 2nd and 9.
Quakers break the huddle. Toothman standing in his own 35-yard line, one sidecar, 2 receivers at the top. Man comes in motion down near side. Toothman rolling this way, gets his shoulders square, and he's going to be ripped down. Big Red, Jamie Duvall coming up with a sack for the Red.
I tell you, good penetration. They fought their way to the outside. He was trying to semi-sprint out to the 2 receiver side over here, where the 2 receivers were running a combination pattern. And number 52 did a good job of coming off his block. That's Jamie Duvall, and was able to get to the quarterback right here. As you can see, comes between 2 blockers.
Coach, a coverage sack. They're looking for Isel. Let's look at the coverage on Isel.
Isel has to come back to the ball, which he does, trying to get open to help his quarterback that's under duress.
Coverage sack. 3rd and long. Toothman throws it up for grabs. It's should have been picked in and out of the hands of Anthony Piro.
Well, I'll tell you, he had a lot of green in front of him too, Don, if he was able to come down with that. But I'll tell you, it looks like Toothman just threw this up and didn't know where his receiver was. And I'll tell you, if Anthony Piro would have been able to intercept that, he would have been down the sideline for a big return and a possible touchdown.
Ben Isel on to punt it, and he's had very short punts tonight. High, short punts. That's a rugby kick.
Yep, and it's got a good bounce on it too.
How about that? Down it at the 17-yard line. That's where Big Red will take over when we come back. Salem 10, Big Red 6, your score. And we're back. Big Red 1st and 10 on its own 17. Piro and Wiggins to the bottom. Macon, it's a keep all the way. And Dwight, lots of running room
first down. He gets out to the 35.
That time he found a seam, didn't try to juke anybody, he just got it upfield, got his shoulder square to the goal line and just took it up. You can see great blocking here, good pull and the trap. As you can see, backside number 50 did a good job of pulling that time, Don, and got a key block. That's Delshawn Wood doing a good job of getting his trap block.
1st and 10 at the 33. JoJo Piro, the sidecar, trips to the bottom, run by Macon all the way. Macon, first down and more across the field. Dwight Macon, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Big Red. 67 yards goes Dwight Macon, and Big Red leads it for the first time tonight.
A lot of blocking out on the perimeter. You can see three black jerseys out there blocking for Macon. And once he gets to the sideline, very, very difficult to catch. Nice blocking, as you can see, on number 12, Toothman, who is the corner linebacker over there. They set the formation this way with trips and came back away from that, Don, to the tight end side. And Macon did a good job of recognizing the crack, was able to get in there and take it the distance.
And they'll go for 2. Piro to the bottom, Wiggins to the top, Macon in the gun. Wiggins goes in motion that way, and we've got a whistle.
We have a flag.
You saw in that replay, Pennick had an angle, but you just saw the sheer speed of Macon.
This is going to help Big Red. That'll be a half the distance penalty, so it'll go from the 3 to the 1.5 yard line. And Big Red asked the officials to place the ball on the left hash mark so that they'll have the wide side of the field to their right. But it doesn't mean they're going to come this way, Don. They can also go back into the short side of the field with Macon, as they did on his touchdown run just a minute ago.
Macon, keep, up the middle, he's in. 14-10 Big Red, 4-point lead.
I think what Coach Suckard said at halftime, he said, Dwight, we're putting this game in your hands. You know, you lead this team to victory.
And the Central Michigan recruit getting it done, 67 yards in the touchdown run. The Red leads at 14-10, 7.5 to go, third quarter. By Zach Pennick.
Isel's been known to return a kicker too.
3 in the season, Wintersville Trophy Shop kickoff. And this is Isel. Fumbles it, picks it back up, breaks the first wall, and he gets tripped up, gets to the 30. Let's take a look. Doan Ford replay.
Okay, when he drops the ball, you can see that a lot of Big Red jerseys converge on him. But watch how he picks out the lane. Look at the lanes as they're forming. There's one right there, and if he doesn't get tripped up right there, he could go the distance. This is an important series for Big Red's defense if they can, really stop Salem and force them to punt, get some decent field position. They'll be in business again offensively.
Isel out of the ball game. I don't know if he got hurt or what the deal was, but he's out. Trent Toothman. Not much going. Ball's on the ground.
And with no call by the official yet. Now it is.
Big Red football. Let's take a look.
See what happens with Toothman here. There it is right there. I tell you, it looks like he was down when that ball popped out. We'll take another look at it here. Great penetration by the Big Red, though.
Well, Jesse Byrne,
the ball was out.
Jesse Byrne put the helmet on the football, and that knocked it loose.
And I'll tell you, Coach Capacci is livid.
And then you get a flag. Is that on? And I think that's on. Is that on Coach Capacci?
He's out on the field, and he shouldn't be out that far out on the field. They're being patient. And that's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty that will take it down inside the 15-yard line down to about the 14.
And you want to be careful because as Tommy Bruni knows, you can get 2 of those on one play. 1st and 10, and then be gone for the rest of the game. Hollywood City Center red zone for Big Red. 1st and 10 on the Salem 14. And Big Red will break the huddle. Shaq Petaway in at fullback. Macon rolling behind the block of Hero. Macon, touchdown Big Red.
Boy, is this game taking a turn. 4 minutes and 51 seconds ago, Big Red was down by 4. And within that period of time, in 4 minutes and 51 seconds, they've scored 2 touchdowns and have taken a 20-10 lead at this point. That's a play that's been so successful for them. Just so many people out there blocking in front of Macon, and he reads the block so well, and he was able to take it in for the score.
Good blocking on that edge, sealing that perimeter off, allowing Macon to get there. Anthony Pirro on to attempt the extra point. Snap, placement, kick, and it is up, and it is good, and Big Red, 21-10, a lightning strike to start the second half, 7:09 to go in the third. 21-10, they've rallied with 15 points after trailing 10-6 at the half. And they did it with big plays, a big run by Macon, and the big turnover, forced by Jesse Burton deep in their own end. And let's take a look at that if we could. This was the play. Jesse Burton puts his helmet right on the football. Now, did we see who recovered it? Was it Jamie Duvall? I never did see who got it. Jordan Banks with the recovery. And we just had the kickoff, and Jordan Meyer with the tackle on the kickoff return. So Salem takes over, 1st and 10 on the 31. And we go back to that play, as we mentioned. Isel went out, was not on the field in that play. And I'm telling you, if Isel's out, you focus in on Toothman. And that's what they did, and they drilled him and forced a fumble. So 1st and 10, Salem on its own 31. Isel part of a twin set to the bottom. They've got twins to the top as well, one sidecar. Big Red defense showing a blitz, doesn't come. Here's Isel, gets brought down by Pirro, short gain of 3.
That's a short gain, but that was a long pass for a short gain. That's a gain of about 3 yards, but that ball had to be thrown at least 20 yards in order to gain the 3. What they're trying to do is they're just trying to get it to Isel, give him an opportunity to make the catch, and get him in space and see what he can do with it. It will be 2nd and 7, Don, from the 34-yard line. And I think we're going to see Salem throwing the ball much more.
Dylan Rhodes, Zach Pennick split topside. Isel's to the bottom. And this is Isel with the catch. Somehow he breaks 2 tackles, gets the first down out to midfield, a flag. I think there's going to be a face mask at the end of the run. And I'm telling you, Isel needs to be playing on Saturday somewhere next year.
Good catch. And he's able, there it is right there.
Well, I don't know. He got the helmet.
The end.
I don't know. And with the naked eye, it looked like a face mask, but you saw there, that's just, he mauled the
personal
helmet.
foul. It's not a, it's a 15-yard face mask, and that's a personal foul. So they're going to march 15 off against Big Red from the end of the run.
Isel's a kid that set out all of last season with injuries, and he's definitely making the most of his senior year. 1st and 10 on the 36. Toothman in the gun with a sidecar. Comes the blitz, and
wow.
They're not going to run the football.
They will not run the football. How many yards did they have rushing in the first half, Dawn?
Well,
I think they only had about 15 yards, didn't they? 21.
21 yards on 14 carries.
rushes. You know, it's just a little over a yard per carry.
And Reno talked about stopping the run. That's what they had to do.
Well, that's what they've done.
Stop the run, tackle the pass.
Philosophy's worked so far because they haven't been hurt by any long pass plays, any big plays. They've been chipping away, taking advantage of Big Red turnovers for their scores.
Making the most of your opportunities. Blake Carroll in place of LaShawn Luke, and Carroll's played very well. Toothman, the pump fake, down, pass interference on Big Red again. And that was Isaiah Willis on the coverage, and he interfered with Justin Adams. And the down, out, and up. When Toothman went with the pump fake, that's when the contact took place.
Yep. And they're discussing it. See what the referee calls.
Illegal participation.
So they're going to replay the down. It's illegal participation against Salem and holding against Big Red.
Well, did they say the receiver went off the field to play and came back on?
That's right. We're going to see it right here and see if he does. There's the little pump fake, and then he's going upfield, and we really can't see at the end of the play exactly where that was, where he did step out of bounds.
But right before that, you could see how his body was coming back on. It looked like he was coming back onto the field.
That would have been the fourth pass interference penalty against Big Red had that call held on.
Second and 13. Watch for the pressure off this near edge from Burden. No, he steps back. They try to run it again, and they get to the 35-yard line. A positive run, about 5 yards for Eric Bailey, the junior.
Yeah, those safeties come up so quick for Big Red, and they're such sure tacklers. That time it was Jordan Meyer, made a good solid open field tackle along with number 22 for Big Red, as you can see, Burden. Jesse Burden.
There's Isel. He's being checked out on the far sideline.
I think it's an equipment adjustment more than anything else.
3rd and 9, but regardless, a 3rd and 9 and their big playmaker not on the field. You've got whistles. Procedure against Salem.
I think there's going to be a timeout called here by Salem. That'll be their first.
But if you're Salem and you've got a 3rd and 9 and Isel's off the field, the equipment adjustment, I'd call timeout too.
Absolutely. Get your best receiver on the field.
VaporJet scoreboard, Big Red up 21-10, 4:44 to go in the 3rd. And we're back 21-10. The Red leads at VaporJet scoreboard, 4:44 to go in the 3rd. 3rd and 9, Quakers on the Red 35. Trips topside, Isel on the bottom. Toothman brought down by Jamie Duvall. And Duvall, Big Red starting center, first day of hitting, injured. In a contact drill, missed a large part of the preseason, early season, and he's come on, done a heck of a job both on offense and late in the season here on defense.
Jamie Duvall, but Shaquille Pettaway also coming off the edge. Jamie Duvall doing a great job playing off his blocks and getting to the quarterback, forcing Salem into a punting situation on 4th and 21.
Scary moment. They were on goal line in the first day of hitting, and Duvall went down. And boy, you just had a feel for him, and then he's battled back from that injury and had a heck of a year.
Another flag against Salem. An illegal substitution. Well, that was a bad series for Salem. Started out real good. He got the ball down to about the 36-yard line, but after that, it was continual losses. Big Red's defense really stepped up.
Coach Capacci wanted to talk to the official to get some clarification. 4th and 21. Isel standing on his own 36 to punt it away. And boy, a short punt.
This one.
Their best punt was the rugby punt. The punting game has not helped Salem much tonight, except for the one time the rugby punt.
That was about a 9-yard punt, Don.
Next Friday, the WTOV9 crew will be in Wheeling for the Perkins Restaurant and Bakery Fantasy Lights Parade. News 9's Eric Miner and Jackie Kane will host the area's largest parade, and you can see it live next Friday, November 20th at 6:30 here on WTOV9. First and 10, the Red on their 46. JoJo Piro's got blockers and a holding penalty to boot. And all kinds of flags flying, Coach.
And they're all flying at the same place. There's 2 or 3 of them. There's 3 flags down. And they're all, I think, indicating probably the same thing, and that's holding on Big Red. So that's going to cost Big Red 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So it'll actually be more than that. It'll go mark off 10 yards, but it's going to be more than a 10-yard penalty. It'll be first and about 23.
$3:51 to go in the third quarter. Big Red 15 unanswered points in the second half as they lead at 21-10. Piro and Wiggins split near side. Meyer to the top. JoJo Piro the sidecar to the top side of Macon. Dwight a run all the way at the top side. He's earned his money on that side today. Short pickup. They've been making a living running off that left side.
Much better coverage that time on that sweep against Macon by Salem than what they had on the last series when Big Red had the ball offensively.
Second down now. Meyer comes here to the bottom of the trips. Reno signaling in the play. Macon, bubble screen. Wiggins, he's got wheels, but he slips at the 42, brings up third down.
Yeah, he's got wheels, but they need some tread on him because he slipped right there trying to make a cut back to the inside. And this is that jailbreak screen over here. Tries to make a cut right here and just slips after a short game. It will bring up third and 13.
Bunch top side. White likes to run into that bunch set. He's going to throw to that bunch, and he's going to be, he breaks the tackle. Macon looking, he's got an outlet receiver, that's Piro. First down, upended at the 39-yard line, and Mike King almost had him, but the ever-elusive magician Macon breaks away. Here's a look.
Okay, Mike King had him wrapped up right there, but just couldn't hold on to him. And he breaks the containment, finds Piro out in the flat, and then he's able to bring it upfield for the first down and keep this Big Red drive alive. That was a big play, third and 13, and a good rush by Salem. But Macon the magician was able to get out of there and complete a pass down the left sideline.
Eye set. Macon fakes the handoff, looking, he's pressured, gets away again. Macon to the 31. It'll bring up second and 3 or 4. Twice he should have been sacked. Twice gets away somehow, some way.
Mike King goes in there again. You can see he's playing off his blocks. Now, Ted, Mike King is probably thinking, I'm just trying to grab smoke here. Great effort that time by Macon to pick up 7 yards. It was a long run, but a 7-yard gain. It's going to bring up second and 3.
All that, he had to tie his shoe. Second and 4. On to 32. Handoff. Jesse Burton stopped in the backfield for a loss. His first carry of the night.
And Burton, remember, against Indian Creek, first play of the year from scrimmage for Big Red, ripped off a 75-yard touchdown run. Boy, that seems like years ago.
We're going to see who makes this tackle. I think it's going to be number 55. Nope. Number 23 for Salem. That's Mike Brown doing a good job from his defensive end position on the right side.
3rd and 6 and a 34. Inside man, they're giving him a lot of room. Macon is going to keep it though. Quarterback draw to the 30. 4th and a couple.
Well, they're in 4-down territory, Don, so I'm sure that Coach Sakuch is going to go for it here. It's 4th and about 2, and that certainly is makeable for Big Red.
I thought you were going to say makeable for Macon.
And they're going to go ahead and let the clock run at the end of third quarter.
And a third quarter that belonged to the Red. 15 unanswered points. They rallied from down 10-6 to lead at 21-10 after 3 quarters of play. You're watching the WTOV 9 Game of the Week from Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium in New Philadelphia. First play of the fourth quarter, the Red 4th and 2 on the Salem 30. Macon hands it. Piro, first down, Big Red. He's still going. JoJo Piro like a battering ram down to the 20-yard line.
I tell you, he runs so low, Don, and gets his shoulder pads down and gets underneath those defensive players. You can see how low he is here, how low he is there. And again, he's real low, and he takes on everything with his shoulder away from the ball and does a good job of protecting the football as well for the first down.
What a job by the Big Red O-line, just collapsing that front line of Salem on that play. There's the first down carry by Piro. Gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8. And they are in the Hollywood City Center red zone.
Second and 7, and it's been everything on the ground so far, Don, for Big Red here in the second half. You know, they've put the ball up a couple of times, but they've gone back to their bread and butter stuff, and that's all just power football, giving it to Piro and letting Macon do some of the work on the outside.
Piro is adjusting his helmet. Those 2 tough runs, he got pieces, parts everywhere, working on his helmet, his pads, getting everything all straightened together. Anthony Piro goes motion top side. Macon looking to put it up in the end zone. It's incomplete. What? You had a possible
tight end.
Yeah, looked like you had contact in the end zone.
We're going to take a look at it here. Number 85 is the intended receiver, Don. That's Gary. And I guess the officials thought that was incidental contact.
Body's bumping, bouncing around, but no flag. 3rd and 7 on the 17. Trips top side. Macon rolling that way. Pass thrown, caught. Piro
short of the first down.
4th and a yard.
Nice blocking that time on number 44. Piro, JoJo Piro came over to chip on him as well as the tackle trying to block on him also.
Well, King's 6'3", 275, and JoJo's 5'9", 170, but
I'll tell you, for that size, King does a nice job. He's got good feet, and he's able to play well with his hands.
Well, then Piro's 5'9", and
two
size
guys
advantage.
blocking him too, Don.
Fourth and 2 for the Red at the 12, Hollywood City Center red zone. Macon gets to the corner, 10, 5, touchdown Big Red.
3 touchdowns in this half, 3 touchdowns by Dwight Macon. Somebody had a shot at him right up here, as you're going to see. And that's number 7.
Oh, that's the shake and bake on ISIL.
On ISIL, and as you can see, Macon is able to get the ball across the plane of the goal line for the touchdown.
Shaken, bacon, Dwight Macon. And that is a 12-yard touchdown. He has a 67-yarder, a 14-yarder, and a 12-yarder in this second half. Anthony Pirro on to attempt the extra point. Snap, placement, kick, and it's up, and it is good. 28-10, the Red taking control with 10:47 to go in the ball game. And we're back at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium with a power hit. So we've missed some here, no scoring. We've missed a few minutes here, about 6 or 8 plays here in the fourth quarter. Big Red with a 2nd and 8 on their own 44. 2 receivers top. Making bubble screen, Trey Wiggins. Trying to pick up the block, and he does. First down, Wiggins down the sideline, cuts back, 20, 15, stumbles at the 8-yard line, but a big gainer.
And that's going to be a late hit against Salem because Wiggins was down and a Salem defender came on top of him after he had been clearly down.
Trey Wiggins, so dangerous.
But I tell you, when you get somebody like Wiggins out and spaced on you, you throw that little bubble screen out there and you get a good block by your wide receiver and you're able to split the corner and the safety the way Wiggins did that time, you know it's going to turn into a big gainer. That'll be a half the distance penalty, putting it inside the 5-yard line of Salem. And here's Big Red knocking on the door again.
So the ball spotted just inside the 5 at the 4. 1st and goal to go for the Red. Looking to seal this thing. Stack eye. And stacked up. No gain.
Good job by the Salem defense that time. The right side of their defensive line did a good job of penetrating a little bit, getting off their blocks and holding that to a very short gain of about 1. They'll bring up 2nd and goal from about the 4-yard line.
In the Hollywood City Center red zone. And Wiggins put him there in that long pass play.
Got McClurg and Pirro in the eye.
This is Pirro to the 2.
I tell you, that offensive line had a couple of those defensive linemen from Salem 6 or 7 yards in the end zone.
Third and goal to 1. JoJo Pirro, touchdown Big Red.
Yep. And looks like we have an injury down on the field. One of the Big Red players is down at about the 3-yard line. We're going to take a look at it from behind on the Doan Ford replay. And you can see the Pirro gets behind those big offensive linemen, a lead block by McClurg, and is able to get it in. Good down block there by number 64 for Big Red, or 54, I think it was Jake Lynn. He came down and really delivered a good block on the left side of that offensive line of Big Red.
McClurg will kick it off for the Red. The squib kick, fielded at the 30. They'll bring it out to the 40. Wintersville Trophy Shop kickoff.
Well, we got about 5 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter. And we're going to see if Toothman is going to be back in there at quarterback, or whether we're going to see some backups for Salem. Looks like number 7 is calling the play's not done. Don't tell me that Ben Eisel is also a quarterback.
He is indeed at quarterback.
He's done everything else.
And he's going to hand it off here. Jordan Banks to tackle. Not much there.
Number 16 was the ball carrier. That's Josh Knox for Salem. And we're going to start seeing a lot of backups in there now for Big Red.
Lucky McClure and Caleb Wesley checking defensively. Jesse Burden comes out as does Shaq Petaway. 2 receivers to the bottom. ISO with 1 sidecar. And the handoff.
Lost it.
Ball on the ground, and Big Red's got it.
No, they say he's going to be down. Michael Camilletti is in there at one of the defensive spots. That was a fumble, Don. I mean, he lost the ball before he hit the ground.
Lost to Knoll with the carry.
It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4.
Hand off to Knoll again. He's stacked up. Camilletti on the tackle.
Yeah, the starting safeties are still in there for Big Red. That's Jordan Meyer and Anthony Piro. There's been changes at the cornerback positions for Big Red. Number 21, Joshua Thompson, is in at 1 cornerback. And the starting corner on the other side, Isaiah Willis, remains in there also at a cornerback position.
And Thompson's been in this second half since Murray went out. Remember when he was injured at the end of the first half. Najee Murray was injured on that play in the end zone. So along with Luke, another play that we haven't seen back in. ISO with the punt.
High, lazy kick. Takes a Big Red bounce.
Clock stopped, 3:42 to go in the game. Big Red up 34-10. Number of subs coming in for Big Red.
Marcus Prather will be the quarterback for Big Red beginning on this series.
Wheeling Hospital Sports Sundays, your source for all the latest news, highlights, and more in the world of sports. Get all the highlights and scores from the weekend on Sports Sunday at 11:30, only on WTOV 9, following the NFL on NBC. And of course, this time of year, we'll do a lot of previewing and talking about the upcoming week's playoff matchups and sites. Handoff, loss on the play for the Red.
And that big defensive end still in there for Salem, number 44, Mike Young, made the tackle. Number 24 for Big Red was the ball carrier. That's Lucas McClurg from his fullback position. Number 29, as you can see, is also checked into the lineup. That's Sean McGee.
Matt Petrella, split near side. 2nd and 12 on the 26. And movement on Big Red.
Simon Saxon, a little bit anxious there to get across the line of scrimmage and get his block.
Second and 17 for Big Red on its own 21-yard line.
Clock running now at 2:48, as you can see in the lower right-hand corner of your screen.
Prather, keep, Fumble. Out of bounds.
bounds.
Big Red keeps it at the 18.
Marcus Fraser on the carry. Josh Knox leads the tackle.
Number 75 for Big Red, that's Troy Terry, and one of the offensive tackles, number 62, Davon Wicker. Here's the play on the Doan instant replay. Nice open field tackles. You can see right here, ball, the head across the body. That was number 4 making a nice open field tackle. That's Dylan Rhodes from Salem.
Hand off, Lucky McClurg to the 25.
They'll bring it up to about the 25-yard line. He's still going to be about 15 yards short of the first down, so it'll be 4th and about 15. We'll call it 13 now that they spotted the ball. They put Big Red into a punting situation. And punting for the Big Red will be number 24, Lucas McClurg.
Nice snap. McClurg gets the kick away. And it's going to
Takes a
roll
Big Red bounce.
and be down at the 44-yard line. We'll take a timeout. 1:31 to go in this one. And we are back at Woody Hayes Quaker Stadium. Big Red leading Salem 34-10 on the Vapor Jet scoreboard. And Salem takes over following the Big Red punt. Last check, Dover was beating Canal Fulton, which would set up Big Red and Dover next week. Last score, well, it was not over yet. Last score we heard was 21-13 Dover. Strike at the band. I love that. That's one of the unique things here, the band shelter back there.
Right.
And that's so neat.
First one like that I ever saw was at Niles McKinley Stadium. They had a band shell. But this one is really nice and really adds great sound, for the band and for the fans as well.
Flag down on the play. Jake Carner, a freshman down at quarterback for Salem. Trent Toothman, he's back next year. He's a junior. A lot of guys, about 5, I think there were 9 seniors total, but about 5 that really saw a lot of playing time tonight for Salem. So they ought to have another nice year next year. Yeah, scanning the roster, I see 9 seniors. We'll lose a big one though, Benny Eisel.
Yeah, he was a good one. He's a good one. He does so much for Salem High School's football team. Don, he kicks, he punts. He's a good receiver. He's a kick returner. We didn't see him run the ball tonight, but I'm sure that he's probably pretty proficient in doing that as well. Last week against their opponent in the playoffs, he had 2 two-point conversion runs.
With the 3 PATs
Right,
and the field goal.
goal.
And scored a touchdown. 2nd and 13. And they get it to the 42.
And that possibly could be the last play of this game, but somebody calls timeout.
That Dover Northwest game interesting. 21-13 and Northwest on the 4-yard line with about over 4 minutes left on the Dover 4-yard line. Personal foul on Big Red. Either way, Northwest or Dover, you would think, well, I was going to say you'd think Fawcett. Last time they played Dover was at Fawcett. Last time they played Northwest was at Austintown Fitch, which I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. There's the carry out across midfield. And that's going to do it. Your final score, Steubenville Big Red 34, Salem 10. And Big Red moves on to the Ohio Division III Region 11 Championship game. For Rich Walensky, I'm Don Sloan. Thanks for watching the W289 High School Football Game of the Week.
Ready, break.